telling me earlier, she said you have a very unique way of doing business. Not maybe it's not totally unique, but for us it is. She said that when you get a listing, you have an inspection done for every property. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your method, because it's a little different from a lot of our other guests.
Well, I think to avoid surprises, and if a person's interested in getting top dollar for a house, all of our contracts say that a home is sold in as-is condition, but what is as-is? So it's the things that people find that, or the cumulative amount of little things that can spook a purchaser. And I've seen purchasers change over the years. I've been doing this for so long that baby boomers were, it was acceptable for them to tear down wallpaper, paint rooms, change carpeting, and have the vision. As we moved into, X and Y generation and now millennial, it's a point and pay generation, which is what I've said, that you don't see a lot of people mowing their own lawn. They can't envision what something's going to be unless it's in front of them. So I think the biggest question I get from sellers is, how do I know this is going to have a payback? So for years, I was staging in the 80s with, a garage full of furniture that we would move in to try to make things look better. But now staging has taken on a life of its own, as everyone knows. So the staging part of it is great, but what about the guts of the house? I mean, I think if you don't know the ages of all of your systems, if I know that a roof is on its last legs, I can get a roofer to go out, make a determination, because, inspectors always err on the side of, it's more serious than it is to protect themselves. So a roofer may say, this has another 3 or 4 years, do a little touch up, and then you have that to give to a purchaser so that before an agent writes a contract, I'll say to them, the roof is older and we've priced the house accordingly. And so it's not a surprise if they do their own inspection, which I encourage. But if I have a list of what are issues with the house, I can determine through my experience what makes sense to fix versus what is not that big a deal. So any leaking electrical, dangerous, whether it's asbestos or polybutylene or ages of anything, it's fixing those little things that when people have their own inspection, there's just not that much that they're seeing. So some inspections are better than others. Some things are not worth doing, replacing windows, some of the things that I don't feel have, a real return.